Hey, this is Sun Radio. We're backstage at the Austin City Limits Music Festival. I'm Kevin Connor, and Danny Davis from Husbands is here. Welcome, Danny. How are you?
I'm good, Kevin. Thank you.
You look pretty bright for a guy who played a late night show last night.
Oh yeah, I don't feel very bright, but I've had some coffee and I'm drinking some water right now, so
But
just
you
waking
and
up.
Michigander did a show at 310.
That's right. Yeah, it was fun. I've never seen Michigander before, but was a fan of his music, so I was stoked to play with him.
Cool.
Yeah.
Now, the band is called Husbands, but basically it's one of these deals where you're in the studio.
Mm-hmm.
And you create the music in the studio, and then you have a touring band? Is that the way it works?
Yeah, I mean, that's basically how it is. This last time, our drummer and our synth player / guitar player were a little more involved in the recording process than they had been in the past, because they've tracked with us before. But this time, it's kind of the first time the doors were open for all of us to kind of collaborate together, because before now, it was me and a songwriting partner.
Right.
So once he left the band, I'm great musical friends with the other guys. So I was like, all right, well, let's write some songs with those guys. So I kind of write the songs, but they certainly are like great instrumentalists and musically minded. So they add these dynamics and interesting riffs and things like that. So
who started that whole thing where basically a solo person has a band name? Was it Bright Eyes?
Bright Eyes did that, sure, yeah. I mean, in terms of like indie rock stuff, Tame Impala's kind of famous for everybody being like,
oh yeah,
Tame is just one guy. But
With
yeah,
a
Bright
touring
Eyes
band.
did precede him.
Something good happened in the Texas game. Something good for Texas, not OU.
Oh no, that's sad.
Now Danny
Yeah.
Davis here. He's from Oklahoma City, so you kind
Yeah,
of care
boomer.
about the
Yeah.
Sooners.
I do care about the Sooners casually, not to the point that I know most of the players' names, but growing up, I would go to games with my friend whose parents were obsessed with them.
Have you
so-
ever done this?
Oh, I've done
And
this
my
a lot.
apologies to our viewers.
I've done the horns
that's
down
just
a
so
lot.
tired. That's
Yeah.
so old. Come up with something fresh.
Well, I like it. I'll do it. Yeah.
But you're an Oklahoma City NBA fan.
I am, yeah. And I was more impassioned when we were better. Not to say I'm a Fairweather fan, but I pay more attention when we have stakes in it. Even though now, I mean, our team is a great young team, and it feels very reminiscent of how it did in like 2009 or whenever.
When you had all those good players.
When we had all the good players, yeah. So, yeah, definitely a big NBA fan and stoked for the season for sure.
So you've got a big Friday coming up. This coming Friday, the 13th.
That's true. We do.
Yeah.
We
it's
do.
the new Husbands album, Quattro. Your fourth album.
That's right.
Makes
Aptly
sense.
named, yeah.
So there's a few songs out there in the world now that I was listening to.
Mm-hmm.
And as far as another guy who kind of came up with everything in the studio and then taught the other guys, there was some parts of it that really reminded me of Brian Wilson. Oh, hey. Something good happened. Are you hearing that?
Absolutely, man. I grew up, my dad, my musical foundation is the Beatles and the Beach Boys and then the Eagles and John Denver and folky stuff after that. But my dad would show me all the stuff he listened to as a kid, and that was a huge part of it. And I just never fell out of love with it. And I think there's like an infinite number of ways to apply that kind of harmony to pop music. So, I don't think I'll ever get tired of.
But it more than the earlier stuff, more pronounced, I think, on Quattro than some of the earlier stuff.
Yeah, I mean, so one thing about this record is between this one and all the ones that preceded it is I quit my 9-to-5 job and moved to Costa Rica part-time. So I split my time between OKC and Costa Rica. So I think the sunshine and the beach and the surfing sort of just was permeating the music a little bit more this time around.
What's the Oklahoma City music scene like? Is there just Wayne Coyne and that's it?
Well, he's certainly a huge factor. I mean, everybody there either loves the Lips or is, subconsciously influenced by the Lips or plays and works for the Lips. Tons of our friends, one of our friends plays guitar for them. One of the professors at the music school plays drums. They're very much stewards of the scene.
It's the Flaming Lips town.
It's a Lips town, yeah.
Have you ever gone to Wayne's house for Halloween?
I've been by it, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, I live like a mile north of it, so it's not much of a trek for me, and it's like a space station kind of thing. And
I heard he really gets into Halloween.
He does, man. Yeah, he's like the perfect space Halloween guy. I like how he injects a little bit of space into Halloween.
Are there any other Oklahoma City bands we should look out for that you know?
Absolutely, man. The bassist of our band is in a band called Love Seats and Chelsea Days. They're excellent. They're kind of groovier, chill folk. but his cousin is the singer, and he's just got this beautiful voice that kind of melts your soul when you listen to it. But they're excellent band. Mad Honey is another band who just released a record that we love. A new band called Easier. Countless bands. Yeah, it's a great scene because, you know, there's not a ton to do in OKC, so what people do is they just make music. So
there you go.
Yeah, it's a good place.
There you go. Well, good luck on the new record. You can find out more about the band at husbandsokc.com to differentiate from another band that's called The Husbands.
True. And the French Husbands. There's a French one.
Oh, really?
Yeah. There's
so
a bunch of us.
What made you want to call your project Husbands?
Well, we formed a long time ago, almost 10 years ago, and I was, I don't know, like 22, 23 years old, and I'd been married for 2 years, and that was kind of like my defining feature is I got married and none of my friends were married, so
You were the husband.
I was just the husband, yeah, and so was my songwriting partner, so we were the husbands among all of our friends, so I was like, all right, we're husbands. Yeah.
Well, I noticed your schedule on record release day, you're not playing anywhere.
We're not. We're basically starting a tour in the next week, so I think October 22nd, we're playing in Tulsa, so that's kind of our, sort of just like a record release tour. And we played in OKC last weekend at Tower Theater with Wildorado. So we kind of radiused ourselves out of getting to do a release show. But we'll be in OKC in December and kind of just treating the whole tour as a record release tour.
Well, enjoy your time here today. Anything you have to see after you're all done?
Well, I wanted to see Shania Twain and a bit of the Foo Fighters, but we got an extra gig pizza party kind of thing we're doing. So I don't, you know, also Ben Queller's playing at the exact same time as us. So everybody I wanted to see, we're kind of like incidentally not getting to, but I would love to see Ben Queller. He's like my guy, and
he'll be around back here, so hang around.
Yeah, man, I'm gonna look for him. I'm gonna look for him.
He's a good guy.
Yeah.
Well, Danny, it's really a pleasure to meet you. Danny Davis, the band, the project, Husbands. The new record Quattro comes out this Friday. Best of luck with it.
Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And thank you to Game Plan Entertainment, Hula Hut, La Cima of San Marcos, Straight Music, and ABC Home and Commercial Services for letting us be backstage, helping us be backstage here at the ACL Fest. Thanks, man.
Kevin, nice to meet you, man.
Pleasure to meet you, and I really like the